Hi, today we're going to make another Halloween soap. It's called Wednesday, and I'm going to show you real fast here. We top them with little bats that I made out of melt and pour soap. I just colored them and poured them in the mold and then popped them out, and that's what we put on the top of the bar. So I'm going to show you here, we have our mold marked where each bar lines up there when we cut it, so I can place the bats there, and we'll show you more on that later. But right now our oils are ready to be mixed with our lye. We have our bases done here, and we have a video in the past that shows our recipe for that, so if you're ever curious about that, you can go back and I can link it in the description of this video as well. And we'll get our lye set up here. As always, we kind of pour it through the strainer to make sure each bar soap is safe. And I get all that through. Thank you. All right, now we'll use our immersion blender here and mix that in. Okay, now that that is mixed, I'm going to get ready to do our colors. On this one, I have a diagonal in it that I do black and white, and then the rest will be a very pretty dark purple color. So here I'm going to split our soap up. Okay, put a little in here for our white. Let's see here. Here we go. And I'm going to get this one black. And I use activated charcoal a lot for our blacks. It's supposed to be really good for soothing your skin, especially if you have any inflammation, any bumps or redness. It's supposed to be kind of good for that. And this one will be white. Go ahead and get those stirred in. And again, we start with our lighter colors on when we stir. And then go to your darks. Then I'm going to add our fragrance. We're going to go ahead and get this one all scented and done up and then poured before we start with our purple. Touch more there. Okay. Get that all mixed in. Oh, this is one of my favorite scents ever. It has a lot of the fig in it and a lot of good just fall spices. It would be really good on a candle too. I need to figure out how to do that with our beeswax. Okay, now that the fragrance is stirred in, I'm going to do an in the pot swirl, the white into the black. Okay, I'm going to do in the pot swirl, pour it in mostly on one side and then a little bit on the other. I'm going to kind of scrape it, get all the soap out so we don't waste anything. All right. Then I'm going to swirl it through there. And then if you'll come with me over to my mold, I have it angled and I have it done that way so that it'll be kind of at a diagonal with the black and the white. I'm just going to pour straight into the mold on this side. Didn't really mean to get it all the way up the side, but that's okay. And then I'm going to just scrape, make sure, try to make it as even as possible across the thing so each bar is as close to the same as possible. There's going to be little variations, of course, just with the swirls, but I think that makes it kind of fun. You never know what each bar will look like until you cut it. Okay, and I made a bit of a mess there. It's okay, we can kind of scrape it off some on the side there. And then I'm going to kind of beat it down a little. As you see, I just, made do with what I had. I'm just using our plastic cups we do our colors in to tilt it to the diagonal that I want. And then we're going to come back over and make our purple. Now we're going to do our purple part. I love this purple. Purple and black are some of my favorite colors, if you can't tell from some of our videos. But this is a Queen's Purple. Then we're going to add our fragrance. Sometimes I love the patterns just in the thing themselves. And I'm going to stir this in. Using the immersion blender right now, we might make it set up a little too fast depending on what all you're wanting to do with it. And you know what? I might want to add a little more purple. It's looking kind of dull. I might want to add a little more purple in there and get it really rich and vibrant. Sometimes it's hard to know depending on how much soap you have left in here, how much you want to use until you get it mixed up. And thank you, babe. He brought me my Queen's Purple and my little scoops, which are super cute. I just usually kind of eyeball these until I feel like they're right. And then you have times like this where you don't get it the first time and you can just kind of adjust, and throw it on yourself. Adjust while you're going. Let's see how that is. It is a little easier when you're starting off to get it mixed into your oils in the little cups first before you mix them in. And that's why we usually have them in the little cups to begin with. I have them mixed with base oils. And it makes it easier when you're adding to the big pot to know you have it all mixed in there. Babe, would you mind getting me orchid purple, please? I'm going to add a little bit of orchid in here with the Queen's Purple. Just again to get a little touch more vibrancy. Not much, just a little. If I can get it open, there we go. This is kind of almost a bluish purple. And although it's very pretty, I want to stick with purple in here. Just going to add just a little to get the right kind of purple I want. It's has a very deep hue, so it really just a little bit goes a long way with that. All right, this is getting close to the purple I wanted. And it looks so good with the black and white in the bottom. All right. Right now, let's see. Has a pretty good trace. So we're going to take it over there and pour it on top of our diagonal. And I'm going to make sure I pour it over a spatula so it doesn't mess up. And I'm going to keep the spatula over, but while I pour, so it doesn't burrow down in through our pattern that's already there. It hits the spatula first and just kind of flows over it like that. And just go back and forth, making sure the whole thing gets full, all your edges. Okay, now I'm going to scrape the container. Get as much soap as possible out. Anywhere that you see might need a little more, kind of put it on there. And then we get this to settle. I kind of shimmy shake it a little bit, and then I beat it down some. Make sure there's no air bubbles in it, and that way it lays a little flatter. For the top of this soap, I showed you my bats already, but how I designed the top, honestly, is like how I designed cakes when I was little. I didn't know how to decorate them, and so I would just take the spatula and just barely swoosh, just make little dollops across the top. My mom always made really pretty cakes, and I couldn't. So when I wanted to make a cake for her, that's the best thing I knew what to do. Give it a little bit of fun texture and not show that I was not very good at icing it. For some reason, that's how I decided to do this one the first time, and I liked it. And then we add our little bats on there, and it just looks really cute to me. It's one of my favorites. I probably say that in every video. I really like a lot of them. If you notice anywhere that's a little flat, just go through, pull in with your spatula to make little dollops. Okay. Now that you kind of got that done, I'm going to let it set for 1 second and spray with our alcohol over the top. And then I'm going to decide how I want to place my bats in our little marks that are already knocked off. As I mentioned at the beginning, we marked our spots where our bars of soaps would be on our molds here. We just used our cutter that's back here to kind of judge where our bars would be. And so I'm going to take our bats and place them where each bar would be. So hopefully each bar will have its own little bat or 2 bats depending on the bar. I like to do them kind of at an angle sometimes and just really play around with it and see what you like. I like doing a big one and then little ones and try to get them. Make sure you're following your marks where your bar will be. Also, I'm putting them on the opposite side of the diagonal of the black and white. I don't know why, I just think design-wise it's a little cuter. You have a little touch of black on the top on the opposite side that way. That one's kind of sideways. You can fix that though. And sometimes I add 2, depending on how cute it would be. This is definitely one that I'm going to enjoy having again this year. I was sad when we finally sold out because I love it. I love having it. Okay, so here we are with a finished Wednesday. We added all of our little bats according to our marks. We have our pretty purple. And now all we do is we cover it with a spray bottle of alcohol. And that keeps it from soda ash, which is just a grayish film that can get on the soap that happens naturally. But to stop it from happening and kind of lessening your design, you spray it with alcohol. So I cover it pretty good with that, and it just will dissipate off as it cures. And there we go. We'll have Wednesday, and we will show you. We'll probably do a video sometime of it cut and as a full bar. If you have any questions or comments, please let us know. And then if you can give us a follow on here, then that would be great. Thank you.